All right, so it's 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I said I was going to be doing this so-called Dana in the mornings, but no. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. I can't do the mornings. Not every morning. Some days I will do the morning, and some days, like today, it will be in the afternoon. So it's weekday. It's just I got to change it. Podcast talk with Dana. That's it. Podcast talk with Dana. That's it. Not Dana in the mornings. I could leave it, but whatever. Hi, Katalia, Taviar. Hi, everybody. All right. And then I'm also in portrait because if you are in portrait, you kind of like get more views because it's like shorts. So I'm trying different things, trying different things. You like the hoodie? Yeah, it has a happy face. I forgot the name of the company, but this person sent me this like 2 years ago. He sent me t-shirts and a hoodie. Anyway, we have to talk about CNN having a debate over Kamala Harris' name. And whenever a white person mispronunciate her name, they're racist, i.e. microwave Dyson. We have to talk about Candace Owens. She went ape shit, somewhat broke the internet. She didn't break the internet. She kind of broke X platform in her space, but she didn't because she did not trump Donald Trump and she never will. But we got to talk about her rant against the state of Israel. And the DNC convention starts today. Yeah, let the Chitlin circuit begin. And a Chitlin circuit it is. So Katalia, I have to go back and look and see who was the company that gave me this because I totally forgot. I wore it today because, and this is a story. It's like 60 something degrees. It's not that warm today, but it's not cold. It's just perfect, right? So it's windy. So it's a little chill outside. So that's why I have it on. And I went out walking the dog. The dog I adopted Friday. His name is Kingston. He's a pit bull and he's cute. He's 5 years old. He's been at this adoption place for since February. And I adopted him. And why I lost him today. I was walking my dog and his head slid through the collar. I kinda loosened it a little bit yesterday when I was walking home because I thought it was too tight and I didn't want him to choke. Cause you have to kinda, like, pull the dog when they wanna go the other way, but you trying to pull them the other way, so they pull. I didn't wanna hurt his neck, so I loosened the collar a little bit, and today he did the same thing pulling, and I'm going the other way, and his head slipped right through the little collar, and he went running off. Mind you, I start running behind him, and honey, I couldn't get to the corner. And I'm like, it's two things. I'm extra overweight, and I kind of am, and out of shape, or I must have lung cancer. I go to the extreme. Something is wrong with me that I could not run a full block without panting like a maniac. I'm like, why I'm running after this damn dog? The dog got more energy than me and he's faster. He start running through the goddamn neighborhood, up the street, cross the street, through people lawns, pissing on their lawns. One lawn he pooped on. I'm running, running, running. And then my nerves started kicking in, honey. I started getting frantic. I called 911. I called 911 and it was like, well, you're not supposed to call 911 for a missing dog. It's not an emergency. I said, well, can you just connect me to IE police department? And they did. And I said, and they sent the cop to my house. I went and I did find him. Well, I was running after him and he was standing in front of a house in the bushes. Then he went up in their backyard. I didn't want to go all over in the backyard. So I went back home so I could get my car and wait for the cops. Cops came, got out my car, and we was talking to the cops, and the cops was drove off, was like, all right, I'll see if I find him. And I told the cops the last place where I saw him. And then me and my father got in a car, drove to the last place where I saw him. And then the cop turned around in the corner because he was there. He was like, is this the person you was looking for? And the dog was in back of the cop car. And the cop was like, when I drove up the street, he was on a corner peeing. And I opened up the door and he walked around the cop car and hopped in the back of the seat of a cop car. So I found the dog, but I did lose him earlier today. I told you to lead on pets. Where's that? Yeah, girl. Yes. He was defiant. Oh my gosh. So when I got back here, honey, I went on petco.com, right? Because I get my little discounts. And I ordered the chain collar. See, certain dogs, like this dog, need a chain coat collar, right? Well, you said a harness. I got him a chain collar because before he had a regular collar. So I got the chain collar. And that's coming today, along with some gravy that I put on his food that he likes. Oh, I was so frantic because and then I was like, you know what? If he want to run away, knowing that he had a good home, let his ass run away. Let that is his loss. But he does have a chip. So if we didn't find him today, I had to call the adoption place and they could locate the chip to locate him. So he does have a dog chip. But we found the dog. Oh my God. Moral and purpose of this story is a bitch is out of shape. I'm out of shape. And it's like, but so this is the thing. So when I was running up the street, I said, I can't do this. I'm like, yo, something is wrong with me. I think I have a respiratory problem. And on the right side of my mid back around the scapula, it's like a muscular issue. It's like a little irritating there. And I'm like, oh my God, is it a tumor? I tell you, I go extra with it. All in all, I gotta lose weight. That's what I received from today. I realized, I realized it's like it's mandatory. You need to start working out to lose weight. I gotta move around more. I need to jog. I need to build up stamina. That's the moral of the story. That's what I got from my dog running off. Dana has to lose weight. You have to watch Caesar Milan videos. He will help you train your pit. I'm so exhausted. I know. Thank you. I'll look into that. I just got home Friday. So first of all, it's going to take him at least 3 weeks to get comfortable in a new environment, to realize, okay, this is my territory. But yeah, welcome to being old, my friend. Well, is 47 old? I need to work out and get in shape now so that I could have that stamina when I'm in my 50s and 60s, build up muscles. And still, I need to look sexy as I'm aging. So anyway, so that's my little monologue story. The moral of me losing my dog helped me realize, bitch, get in that gym ASAP. ASAP. I was hiking. I haven't hiked in 2 weeks. That's another thing too. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't had this problem when I was hiking, but I haven't hiked in 2 weeks. So yeah. All right, let's get into it. Michael Eric Dyson. First of all, on the Real Dana channel, I uploaded a classic debate between Michael Eric Dyson and Judge Joe Brown. Of course, Judge Joe Brown demolished him in that debate. And this was about 2 years ago. The debate took place, I think around this time, right? And they debated in Delaware at the Delaware Public Library. So I uploaded that debate yesterday on a Real Dana, and you guys loved it. Appreciate it. And the reason why I did is because Michael Eric Dyson was trending. He was trending, right? Because he called Representative Nancy Mace a racist because she mispronounced Kamala Harris' name and she refused to correct herself. And I don't blame her. I call her Kamala. I don't say Kamala. Kamala don't say Kamala. Kamala says Kamala. She never says Kamala unless she's talking to her Indian people. When she claims to be Indian, which Kamala is a Hindu name. Kamala is Hindu. So when she's talking to black people, she calls herself Kamala. When she's talking to the Asian community, she says Kamala. But these black idiots on this panel is still calling her a black woman. But calling her a black woman by calling her by her Indian name. Make it make sense. But I want to play the clip.
Take that, but I'm wondering.
And a lot of rich history comes out of my district in South Carolina that I'm deeply proud of.
With respect, Trump injecting Vice President Harris's race and then suggesting that she's not actually black. Why is he doing that? Should he stop?
Well, I mean,
Yes or no?
I didn't hear him say it. I didn't hear what he said about her race. I am not going to weigh in on her race. As a woman,
He did say it.
Okay, well, as a
He definitely
woman,
said it.
I want to weigh
She turned black,
in.
he said. He said she was raised Indian. Now she was Indian, all he knew. Now she
Well,
turned
she's of
black.
mixed race. She's of mixed race.
He said that to the National Association of Black Journalists.
Right.
He went to, and he said at the same event where he said he'd done more for black people than any president in history.
I guess here's the thing.
When he was president, wages for women were better than they've been in a long time. Wages for blacks were better than they've been in a long time.
The lowest black unemployment rate in history. It
He
happened
did a
under
lot of
Joe
good.
Biden.
He did a lot of
Congresswoman,
good
let me just finish this
for
to both
people
of you.
from all walks of the
This
country.
doesn't take that much courage, honestly, to just say that was out of bounds.
I don't know what he said. I didn't see
He
the
said
Come
that
on,
she
come on.
turned black. He questioned whether she was really black. I don't think that's that hard to say. That's out of bounds. Can you say that?
I mean, I didn't say it, and I would not
just
say
say
it.
yes. Just say yes.
Is it
Just
wrong?
say yes.
I just
Guys,
said
we-
it.
we
Then
are-
they connect that
we
to your
are-
inability to
I'm not-
pronounce her name.
we are out
Now
of
it's
time.
it's a very
We are out of time.
It's a cult. They won't say anything that goes
not in
against
a
the cult.
cult. Are you
Yes, you
kidding
are.
me?
You are a
My
cult
friend,
Are you
member.
kidding
It's
me?
a cult.
I have a
We are
diverse
out
district
If you
of
won't
William
speak
Bryan.
out against the
Say
cult
her
member,
name,
you're a
say
cult.
her name.
Cult leader is
Do
Donald
the
Trump.
We are out of time
And the
at the
fact that
table.
you talk to
Thank
women
you.
this way is ridiculous.
You
for
just talked about a black
being
woman that
here.
way.
Right.
Okay, so that's when that was towards the end, but that was when they were going back and forth saying, well, Donald Trump said that she wasn't black. Well, no, Donald Trump just questioned if she was black or she was Indian, because Kamala Harris has said she was black. She said it, but she also said she was Indian. However, her mother's Indian and Hindu, and her father is Indo-Jamaican. The father don't claim to be black Jamaican. The father is Jamaican. He was born in Jamaica, but he claims Indo-Aryan or whatever. He claims other than black, other than African, the father. But she's not a black American. That woman is not black. That's all. She's not black. So why are they arguing what Trump did not say? She wasn't black. Trump said, well, I heard she wasn't. Sometimes she says she's black, and then other times she says she's Asian. She did say that. She does. She says that. If she's speaking to her people, she claims to be Asian American. When she's speaking to her sororities or black people, she says black Americans, including herself as a black woman. She's not mixed. She is not both. She flips sides so that you can like her and support her.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have
BS.
to intend racism to
No.
accomplish
You are
it.
intending that I
Your
am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that
is part and
offensive.
parcel of a
Why can't
tradition
you
of
just-
disrespect.
Why
It's
can't you just,
offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's,
why can't you
it's
just,
offensive.
why
That
can't
I'm
is
not calling you a
disgusting.
racist.
No,
I'm
you
saying
are.
what the
You
practice
are.
is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely
Because
are.
the
Here,
practice
wait,
is
I'm
racist.
sorry.
let me get in
Disrespecting.
here.
No, what's disgusting
That
is
is
your
disgusting.
disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said,
You know
I
what? You know
didn't know
what's
her name.
disgusting
He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
White
I
women don't
became-
have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25
They
years
care
ago,
for your babies
25
and
years ago,
respected
I
your
became
humanity.
the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I
So call
fought
her
my
name
way
right.
through it.
So
Tooth
pronounce
and
her
nail,
name
blood,
right.
sweat,
Let
and
me
tears.
actually
So pronounce her name
and
right.
Kamala Harris, if I
Kamala.
were a man,
Kamala.
You said
I
this
will
We're not
before
say
calling you Nancy
anything that I
Nancy.
want.
It's
Come on,
Kamala.
it's
You're
Kamala.
doing this
You
on
disrespect-
purpose,
I am
That's
not.
Congresswoman.
disrespectful.
Just a second.
If,
You can't expect people to
if
respect
a
your
man
service
put on
if
a
you don't
skirt
respect
and walked
hers.
that stage 25 years ago, she
You're a
would have
white
said
woman
she would have
disrespecting a
taken
black
that
woman. That is
achievement away from
problematic.
women.
I
Professor
agree.
Dyson,
That's
let me get in
disgusting.
here because
That's-
I want to
that's
play
disgusting.
one more bit from Ellie.
So they're upset. And it's like, okay, so it's Kamala, but it's pronounced Kamala in Hindu because it's a Hindu name. But Americans, we say Kamala, especially black people. If you look at that name and you show it to a black person, we're going to say Kamala if you ask it to pronounce it. You show it to a white person, going to say Kamala. Now, he's saying as a white woman, you cannot say to a black woman that she doesn't know what a woman is because Black women are the ones who took care of your white babies. Well, I am a Black woman, and I could say Kamala Harris don't know the definition of a woman. So what do you want to say about that, Michael Dyson? There are Black women, Black men who denounce her, who knows that she's not Black. Only people like you and the Rolands and the DLs and all these other raccoons or whatever idiots, you believe it. Because the Democrat Party paid them very well. Democrats pay very, very well. They're bougie as hell. They always been bougie. They always been stuck up. They always been the elitists, racist elitists at that, white, Black, or what have you. I'm from the tri-state area. Microaggressions. People think, oh, it's not racist. No, it's very racist in New Jersey. But it's a lot of microaggressions in the northern part, which is just as bad. I think it's worse than being an outright racist. I'd rather have that than you stabbing me behind my back, but then you smiling in my face talking about something we shall overcome. So F her name. Who cares how you pronounce her name? I could pronounce it anywhere I want. In the words of Judge Joe Brown, she's a piece of shit. Now, this is Michael Eric Dyson. I'm only going to play like the first minute. He gets on his Twitter. Well, he does a video and uploads it on his Twitter. I guess trying to acknowledge and apologize to Black women. Negro, we don't need your apology.
Of note for Black women this morning, for little girls, for aunties, for grandmothers, for wives, for partners, for lovers, for teachers, ditch diggers, engineers, around the way girls, to presidential candidates. We Black men who have too often failed you, who have too often not said the right thing at the right time, who have been vulnerable to the claim that we have forgotten what you have done for us, the magnificence of your service to our people, the beauty and power of your spirit at times when we flagged. We remember all the remarkable things you have done and beg your forgiveness for us not standing up for you when times were tough or when no one else was in the room to defend you, to assert the legitimacy and validity of your personhood. Please forgive us. But no more will that occur. And so the other night, Keith Boykin and I were on CNN trying to be respectful to the Congresswoman who insisted upon mispronouncing Kamala Harris. Do you call Melania? Do you call Ivanka? Then call Kamala.
All right, so that's enough of that mess. I can't, you know what? Yes, word salad, honey. Word salad. Word salad. And he throws in the validity, publicity. Remember in Living Color when Damon Wayans played that Hotep dude that was always in prison? That's that's who Michael Eric Dyson sound like. That guy, some fake Hotep. You know what? People who always use big words have small brains. People who, and then a lot of times people with perfect diction, they're not that bright. They're not. They're not the smartest person in the room. And I think I want to go to Candace Owens real quick, because I always say that about her. She does have good diction, but she's not that bright. As far as doing her job when it comes to this podcasting, she calls herself a journalist. She's doing very well, but she's not the smartest person in the room. She's nowhere near that. But as of late, Candace Owens kind of went, I'm not going to say she went batshit crazy, but She went kind of off the rockets. So over the weekend, she held the X Space, the truth about Zionism, right? And as of right now, 1.9 million people tuned in. She had up to at one point 45 to 50 or 50 to 56,000 people. So she kind of semi broke X, not the internet. And then it started dropping down at like 20 something because people, she had the Tate brothers up there, Dan Belzerian, and people just kept regurgitating. So it's like, okay, you want to expose Zionists. Oh, they're peas, pedophile, and they're all this, they do this, they do this. Everything that this woman said about the Zionists and the history, she was correct. She wasn't lying. But the problem with that is you got to say that about every other religion as well. You have to say that exact same thing about every other religion. Oh, then we're going to get into the DNC. So let me play this clip. So this is she posted this clip before she went live on X Space.
Do you think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed? like literally, because speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Like, excuse my language, but like that is not normal. Okay, it's not normal that people have to think about their security because, and by the way, it's not normal that then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car, so there's not, he's a sitting president. Obviously my security doesn't really matter. If they want me, they're going to get me. That's not a normal thought process to have. We don't have that about any other country in the world, except for the one that, took over ours. And that's the truth, okay? We are an occupied nation. And if it's going to take women like having to speak up and say that to make permission, like to give permission to men to do the same, then I'm happy to be the first person, okay? I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. Like 1000% blame the Zionists. Like let that be my parting.
Okay, so she's basically saying that now that she's outing the Zionists, as being these horrible people, to blame them.
Israel as a country, I know many.
So she's saying if something happened to her, blame the Zionists. And this one woman, I guess she is Jewish, Sarah Carter, she said, I've known Candace for some time and admire her work on Blexit and as a value voice in the conservative movement. Sadly, something seems to have gone wrong with Candace so that she is now engaging in and spreading the most vile and vicious, what is that? Vile and vicious. Why can't this never come up when I have this? Oh, here we go. Vile and vicious Jew-hating conspiracy theories, some of them dating back to the depths of ignorance from the Middle Ages. Her false ideology spreads like a deadly cancer. I condemn Candace Owens. I condemn her disgraceful fall to espousing pure anti-Semitism. And I know there is no room in the conservative movement for anti-Semite like Owens. I call upon any conservative individual or organization who still holds any ties to Owens to similarly condemn and cut her off. Let me play this clip of her going on.
Many moons ago, before they decided to establish Israel as a country, I know you've read like the short version in the classroom, and it was like, oh, the Holocaust happened, and then we realized that Israel needs a state. No, that's not how it went down. That's not how it went down at the F all, okay? Catholics and Christians were going missing on Passover, and then they would find bodies, okay, across Europe, And they were able to trace them back to Jews. Blood libel. They weren't Jews, okay? These were Frankists. And so just like Leo Frank killed Mary Fagin on Passover back in 1913 or 1914, I can't remember the exact date, he did it during Passover for a reason, this Frankist cult, which is masquerading behind Jews, still participates in this shit to this day, okay? Why would you want, as a small nation that is the size of New Jersey, okay, why would you want the pedophiles to flee there? Like, why would you want the pedophiles to be procreating? Unless the nation of Israel may have been established by some Frankists. And it's looking like Theodore Herzl's family was from the exact same area in Moravia and in Bohemia where the Frankist cult was founded. Crazy when you get into his family, that like maybe Theodore Herzl, who wrote in a book that he didn't care how many Jews had to die for him to get the state of Israel, like maybe he was not actually a Torah worshiping Jew. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas here. And by throwing out some ideas, I mean, I've read a ton of books and I've figured it out. Okay. I am just like so over the idea that Israel is our ally and friend. If another person says that stupid statement, I'm going to personally punch you in the face. I am. It's going to be me. That's a joke. Don't take this video off of Twitter. Wink.
So, okay, she's talking about some Theo Frankish, blah, 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 blah. This is what she's missing, right? Mind you, she was a Protestant and now she converted to being Catholic. Her husband is Catholic. She's going back to the early 1900s, the beginning of the 20th century. And I guess she's talking about, when during Passover, Christians were going missing. However, she needs to go back centuries, hundreds of years, almost thousands of years, because the small hats have always been the most prosecuted religious group ever in history. That is a fact. Catholics in Spain and throughout other places in Europe will burn them. Yeah. So if you're going to expose the Zionists, and I'm not saying she's wrong, but you have to expose Muslims who practice in that pedo stuff. Damn sure got to expose the Catholics because they have done the same thing for centuries. You know where the Catholics hide their pedos? At the Vatican, within the church, whether it's in Italy or here in the United States. You think Zionists are the only ones? Muslims the same. So if you're going to go in on the Zionists, I want you to do another expose on Muslims. Now you want to talk about if anything happened to me, you ain't going to touch talking about the Muslims and their dirty deeds, because something probably would happen to your ass. And then I want you to do an expose on the Catholics, that religion that you converted to, that your husband grew up in. Not only do they hide their pedos, they were the first ones to bless the first slave ship. Yeah. Yes, Jewish people did participate in slavery, slave trade. When you look at insurance companies, when you look at these export companies, people were Jewish. Slavery was a business. It was a commodity. It was. Sadly, talking about human beings, it was something horrendous and immoral. But you're talking about slaves, sugar nexus, cotton. Yeah, it was a business. So if you are going to only single out the Zionists, this is why I say she's not the smartest person in the room. You're going on this rant. You wasn't going on this rant before when you were linked up with the Daily Wire. But when they fired you, now you really want to go full blown. What did Kanye West say? He's on decon or whatever, but he kind of never did when he started going off. But Kanye is on pills. He is a medicated bipolar person. He has bipolar. He has taken medication. But the fact is that if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, you need to go down a rabbit hole of everyone, because it's not just them. And by the way, the state of Israel was not founded to control the United States. The United States supported the state of Israel and going to keep supporting them, because if you look at where the state of Israel is located, is right on the knocking door of the Middle East, surrounded by our quote unquote enemies. So it was a military defensive strategic move for us to stay in power by making sure we have a state, Israel, which is like our allies or whatever, there in that region. So it has nothing to do with, they're trying, America is controlled by Jewish people, and because they have so much dirt in America. It's not that, dummy. It's not that. It's not that. It's so much above all of our pay grades combined together. But it's about militarism, the military. It is about defense, geopolitics. It's so much bigger than what she's talking about. But like I said, if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, you got to do it for the Catholics. You got to do it for Muslims. You got to do it for the Christians, of all different types of Christians, because all their hands are dirty. They're all dirty. So what she's doing, honestly, she does stuff to stay relevant. She does. And then she expects for people to follow her. But mind you, Candace, Black people still ain't messing with you like that, because you have talked so negative about Black Americans. Only the Andrew Tates, only those lunatics are going to support you. Black people are not going to support Candace. And I'm glad Sabby pulled this up. Candace Owens is finally admitting she was encouraged to dunk on Black people. Because somebody wrote, interesting, I don't recall anyone getting this triggered when Candace was dunking on Black people. Which is true, because a lot of people are in an uproar. A lot of Jewish people, rightfully so. But y'all said nothing when she was dumping on Black people. And then she responded, no, that was always allowed and encouraged. So one of the main reasons why Candace Owens will always talk her stupid nonsense about Black Americans, because she was paid to do so. She was paid to do so. And she needs a new format to stay relevant in the media. So now she's going to dump on the Zionists. Everything this girl said about the Zionists, everybody already knew. You're not saying anything new. The only reason why people tuned in is because, oh my God, she's saying something negative about the Zionists, and apparently she's not afraid. But what she is saying, you have to step back and be like, girl, we knew that. They just found all these tunnels in Brooklyn and New York in a Jewish neighborhood. But the Catholics have been doing this for centuries. Muslims have been doing the exact same thing for centuries. So what are you talking about? Angela Staton King tweeted, or posted on X, I could remember when Candace Owens said reparations in Juneteenth was ghetto, when she said George Floyd deserved to be murdered by unhinged cop because he was a criminal. When she raised money for the officer that killed him, she was applauded, praised, and uplifted. This ain't our fight. And you're right. This ain't our fight. To me, Candace looks crazy. She sounds crazy. She looks crazy. She's not saying nothing. She's not enlightening anybody. But again, when you go down that rabbit hole with one particular religion, I always say this. You got to talk about all of them. And she's Catholic, so she should know how they get down. And for you to sit up here and just keep throwing dirt on quote unquote Zionists, and you don't talk about the Catholics? Really? Maybe I should do an expose on Catholics. Yeah. The stuff that is going on now in the Vatican, the stuff that went on for centuries. Like, come on. I think it's worse. It's worse than what the Zionists have ever done. You think Zionists are the only ones that caused the war, knowing that their own people, will be sacrificed? Absolutely not. They're not the only ones. Every religion in every corner of the world have used their own as pawns to gain power and access and resources, to win, to do whatever it takes to dominate. America supports Israel because they are the central bankers, Federal Reserve. The geographical location has nothing to do with it. They control the money. Yeah, it has everything to do with it. First of all, I agree with you. You're not wrong. I agree. But it's not a one-trick pony. Look at where Israel is located. How is that relevant? How does that help America? It does. How does that give us an advantage? It does when it comes to the military, when it comes to war, when it comes to our defense. We don't occupy certain countries just because. It's either because of resources or we need to be in a strategic location for the purpose of war. And stop thinking it's Jewish people don't control all the banks. You got to look at the Bank of England. Like, stop. You got to look at BRICS. It's not one thing. There are multiple elements to this for the purpose of power and world dominance. And you can't just be one thing. You have one mission, but you can't just be one thing for world dominance. So it is about the location. Look at the borders of the countries that the state of Israel is bordered with, and look at who's next to them. So what she's saying is just fluff. That's on a superficial level. That bitch don't know nothing. This isn't YouTube. Why you ask me if I'm on YouTube? Are you on YouTube? What is this that you're tuning into? What app? I always knew about Candace when she first came on the scene. She was good at speaking white conservatives' talking points. I knew she was fake from day one. She goes anyway the wind blows. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I want to get to the DNC. So what popped off yesterday, right? Because the DNC actually, they had like a meet and greet and little, round tables, a celebration. Honey, the Palestinians, the pro-Palestinian protesters are out there heavy in Chicago. They're not playing. And this is just day one. They're going to be there every day, and the numbers are going to grow outside that DNC Convention Center in Chicago. But I want to zone in a little bit to Roland Martin. Jamal Green, honey, I don't know who he is. Let me just click on his profile. Okay, father, real estate broker, serial investor, little political philanthropist. Yeah. He said some things about Roland Martin. Roland Martin, I guess, called him an idiot. And so he pulled up on Roland.
Yeah, hold you 1 second. No, ain't no. Hold on. I gave you a number. I gave you a number. Yesterday, you tweeted about it. You tweeted, you called me dumb yesterday. You called me dumb yesterday. Yeah, hold you 1 second. No, ain't no.
So Jamal Green pulled up on Roly Poly ass. He pulled up on Roland Martin ass, and I'm glad he did. And Roland like, don't touch me. I was just a bucking. Listen, this DNC convention is going to be a chitlin circuit at best. Cornbread, collard greens, neck bone, pure nigga shit. The RNC, it went on without a hitch. They had like a little bit of sprinkle of protesters, no more than 1,000, less than that. Child, you got the Palestinians, they about to shut down all of Chicago. I want to know where the black people at in Chicago. Where the black people at in Chicago? You got the illegal migrants all up in your neighborhood. Y'all should be out there more so than the Palestinians. The Palestinians about to tear Chicago up, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Real quick, Dom LaCree, he said this about Candace Owens, and I think this is really good. Candace Owens was hated by the black community for her comments, but they never called her crazy. The new hate that she is getting tells everyone a lot. In fact, no established medias ever threatened to shut her off or blackball her when her brand was about showing how bad black people are. I find it so strange that she has stopped talking about blacks and now everyone believes she is hateful. Actually, you know what? Because I love what he said. I'm actually going to save that for tomorrow's show. I'm not going to go into more. I'm going to save that for tomorrow's show. Because it was something else that I wanted to share. I need to get into this. Oh, let me see.
In the club, okay? And you like the movie.
Yeah, stop sharing that. I want to get to this before I get up out of here. I'll get to that. I'll elaborate more on that. Candace Owens tomorrow, Wednesday. But what is this? It's the old Ottoman Empire, and they are Franks. They have infiltrated all 100% of the government and institutions. That's who Trump says is the swamp. Listen, it's the old Ottoman Empire. Okay, well, you know how old the Ottoman Empire go? You got to go back. I can't see the chat. You got to go all the way back. Damn near BC. Y'all need to stop. Just stop. Stop saying, oh, it's the Ottoman. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Listen, it's a combination of a lot of things for the purpose of one, for world dominance. Stop thinking it's a one-trick pony. Stop. Muslims were least likely to do any harm to Jews for anything. They were the ones who invited the Jewish people in when they left when Moses sent them out of Egypt, and then they kind of left Moses or whatever. I'm just fast forwarding it. Back then, Muslims lived and worked with Jews, and the Jewish people, even back then, they were into the banking, whatever you want to call the banking systems back then, right? I.e., after Jesus Christ. So I'm just keeping it real short. Basically, they lived together happily ever after. up until some shit broke off. And then they had beef kind of like ever since then. But I will say this, that Muslims were least likely to do anything to Jewish people, historically. However, I'm going to save that conversation and we could go deeper with the judge, because I got that from Judge Joe Brown. We was talking about it and he ran it down. So if you're going to talk about Zionists, you're going to have to reel it all the way back after Jesus' times. And you could go before then as well, but you got to go back centuries, not during World War I. No, you got to go back centuries. So if you're going to start at World War I, you're not saying anything that majority of people already know. And if you're going to single out Zionists, like I said, you have to single out the Catholics, the Protestants. You got to single out all of them, the Muslims, the Arabs, because Arabs and Muslims, they're two different things. People think all Arabs are Muslims, and they're not. They're not. So what are we really talking about here? And the Zionists that she's talking about are not the Hebrewish Jews. Zionists. Zionists are part of, what do you call it? I can't. It starts with an A. It has a Z and a K in it. I always tear that word up. But it's the white Europeans that converted to Judaism. That's where the Zionists came out of. We'll talk about it more on Thursday. The only thing I'm saying is Candace Owens ain't saying shit new. She regurgitating old history points. That's it. Right. It's a lot of factors. Angie, girl, I don't know why, because I'm like in short. I'm in portrait style. But let me play this clip here because I thought this was fascinating.
They're never going to let you in the club, okay? And you like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact terminology, but not Uncle Tom, but Uncle Tommy, or you were a complete sellout.
First of all, it sounded like that was a non-black person telling me that. So as a Democrat, that sounds pretty racial and pretty divisive. Next, it's very interesting that I, again, would be called names or be compared to fictional characters because of who I choose to support. Again, these people who are calling and making these derogatory statements about me, who I choose to support, are denying the fact that, again, who are you to tell me that my personal experience is invalid? I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats need to look within, because how have you tried? Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips, and has not tried to do anything about our failing education system. So everything that she's promising she can do for you on day one, she could do right now, but she's not trying to. So that's something to, for some Dems to take home. So are you telling me that with all the black wealth that exists here in Atlanta, with all the black millionaires that live here in Atlanta, why in the world do 92% of APS students are illiterate? Make it make sense. And we have Democratic mayors, we have Democratic city council members, we have Democratic commissioners, and for whatever reason, 92% of the kids here cannot read. That statistic did not exist in Nevada. So again, I don't know if it was the fact that I got lucky. I can't say that, oh my God, it's the teachers that suck out here. I would never demean our educators here in Atlanta. But what we can acknowledge is the numbers, sir. And so while you want to call me not smart, please tell me what your side has done to fix the illiteracy rate that we see in our black children. Absolutely nothing. And in fact, not only have they not done anything to address the illiteracy issue, but then they're further confusing your kids by telling them that men can give birth, by telling them that there's 53 genders, and that by telling them that your love for your best friend must mean that you are gay, you are a pansexual, asexual. Kids under the age of anything high school should not be thinking anything sexual, period. Sexual should not even be in their vocabulary. So for you to say that I'm not smart because I'm willing to call out all of the degeneracy that exists within our current education system only points to your lack of intelligence and your lack of initiative to actually do something in regards to saving our children and saving our schools.
In the club, okay? And you like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson.
Am I muted now? Damn. Thank you guys. We missed all of that. Oh, you didn't hear her. Wait a minute. Let me go out. How do I do this? Let me go here. Can you guys hear me? Oh, you can't hear me. Thank you. You didn't hear her. Oh, you can hear me. You couldn't hear her. Oh my God, honey, that was like a perfect. That was a perfect the way I like commentary I just had. Now I gotta start all over. It does that from time to time. Okay, here we go.
In the club, okay? And you like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson.
Do you hear that? Okay, perfect.
I know the exact like terminology, but like not Uncle Tom, but like Uncle Tommy, or like you were a complete sellout.
First of all, it sounded like that was a non-black person telling me that. So as a Democrat, that sounds pretty racial and pretty divisive. Next, it's very interesting that I, again, would be called names or be compared to fictional characters because of who I choose to support. Again, these people who are calling and making these derogatory statements about me, who I choose to support, are denying the fact that, again, who are you to tell me that my personal experience is invalid? I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats need to look within, because how have you tried? Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips, and has not tried to do anything about our failing education system.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Testing. Yes, now we hear you. Okay, good. Okay, so you didn't hear my commentary. Oh my God. What I said was so good. Can I remember? Well, basically what I was saying, I just muted her. So can you hear me right now? Y'all so slow typing in the chat. Or maybe it's a delay. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you so much. So what I say, I basically said she ethered this guy. The problem with Democrats especially you white Democrats, you guys don't realize that you are racist or that you are bigot or that you are biased or that you do stereotype, because you do. You do. Whether you are displaying microaggressions, whether you are talking like this white guy, calling her Samuel L. Jackson character in the movie Django, he's actually playing Leonardo DiCaprio character in the movie Django. I forgot that slave master name, but that's the white guy, the one who called in trying to check her. And you don't, and this is the problem. He doesn't see that. He doesn't realize he's Leonardo in the movie Django. And that's what they do. Because when she broke down all of the degenerate, all of the dishonest, the immoral, the racist things, discriminatory things that the Democrat Party historically and to this day continue to do, particularly when it comes to Black Americans, and Black Americans are still voting, is exactly that. They're really the racists. Anytime a group of people or entity intentionally tries to hold you back, that is wrong. That is racism. That is discrimination. That is you being a bigot. And a lot of people who display microaggressions, sometimes they know they're doing it and sometimes they don't, because they subconsciously, they just think that they're better, or they automatically assume you did not come from an environment of people that fully educated you. So what she said was correct. She said no lies. I will listen to her and promote her and cheer her on any day of the week. I would pick her over Candace any day of the week. And they're two different people. I get it. And she actually started off in Blexit. But she spoke no lies and she ethered that caller. And I have to applaud that. She is Micheal, the Black woman who met Donald Trump in Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, and she spoke at his Atlanta rally a couple of weeks ago. She had a mic drop moment. Then she had a mic drop moment here as well. She spoke no lies. But I just want white people to understand, if you don't acknowledge that you have biases and you stereotype, because every human being does that. But what makes you think you're the exception? People just don't want to acknowledge their shortcomings. And when you don't acknowledge that, and depending on how you were brought up to look at Black people, you are going to display microaggressions. And you are, in turn, an undercover racist. And they have a lot of those in the Democrat Party. And a lot of them look white. And then the other part of it looks Black. That's just what it is. All right. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I did save some comments. Yeah, so that latchkey, what do you mean? Just when I think Dana said the dumbest thing. First of all, I never say anything dumb. That's number one. Number two, what were you referring to when I was talking about Candace Owens going in on a Zionist and the Ottoman Empire or whatever? Listen, that is so much history, rich history there. I would never sit up here and take cue from anyone such as yourself in the chat. And like I said, on Thursday, I will have the judge break that down, the historical reference. And we did it several times, but I'm going to have them do it again. But I think people need to understand everybody's hands are dirty. Everybody's hands are dirty. Stop thinking your religion is better than their religion. Stop thinking your race is better than that race. Your gender is better than that gender, or your views and morals is better than the next person. Everybody's hands are dirty. And if you're going to go down that rabbit hole and single out one, then I have to call you a hypocrite. And that is what I'm calling Candace, a hypocrite. A hypocrite. I'm glad Candace is actually speaking up about Zionism and Israel. Most are afraid. Most are too afraid. People are tired of wars for Israel. Well, there's wars everywhere in every single continent. So are you tired of how they're treating the Palestinians there? Yes, I agree. But we also need to be tired of how the people in the Congo is being treated so that we can be on these devices. How people in different countries in Africa are being exploited and throughout this world, even in India. I have a great video that I'm going to put together about modern day slavery. Because the sugar nexus is still going on today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a chronicle of the sugar nexus from the past to today. Suzanne says Indo-Irish. Yes. Kamala Harris' father claims to be Indo-Irish. He don't claim nothing black. Yes, he looked like a black man, but he don't claim nothing black. I can fly to your state and help you get in shape. Could tell you, really could tell you. Are you a fitness trainer? Bingo Dana, we just spreading the info to get us thinking. I think he meant harm. Yeah. Angie, that's okay. All right, guys. I did what, an hour. This is good. I'll be back. Listen, if I don't come back tomorrow morning, I'll probably come back over here Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. Either way, tune in tonight on The Real Dana. We interviewed Miss Sheree Peoples. She was the black woman that got arrested under Kamala Harris' truancy bill when Kamala Harris was Attorney General in the state of California. And we are interviewing her, the judges, and got to keep her story out there. She needs your help. She needs your support. So tune in tonight on The Real Dana at 8 p.m. That interview will premiere. Judge Joe Brown and I will be back live this Thursday. And we will be showing Kamala Harris DNC speech. Oh, it will not be long like Trump. Trump was up there for 2 hours. She's only going to talk for 15 minutes, no more than 20 minutes. Yeah, she's Indo and Irish. Yep. Yeah. Everybody is at every culture, every race, every nationality has people who are racist. But tune in tonight at 8 p.m. on The Real Dana, and powerful interview. And tomorrow, most likely, we will be doing a Twitter space, I think. And if we will be live on this channel at The Real Judge Joe Brown with the X Space. And that's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate ya. Love ya. And let me see something real quick. Please share this video. Hit the like button, comment below, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I will see you guys soon. 8 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern. Everything is Eastern. Everything is Eastern. So 8 p.m. Eastern tonight on The Real Dana YouTube channel. Great interview with Miss Sheree Peoples. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love ya. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.